Hello, foodies, and welcome back to Foot in Review. Normally, I start talking about content, promotions, and so much more, but this week I'll start with my own story about football, the game we all love so much. Football unites, brings people together, and it's the world's biggest distraction from life, or some would say it is life. This week, us Feyenoord fans trembled before going to Portugal, where Benfica was waiting for us. I couldn't see the match myself, but I was wearing the kit proudly that day. Although chances was I would be able to wear it a bit less proud the day after that. Um, After the same Benfica team wiped the floor with the big Atletico Madrid just weeks prior to that with a stunning 4-0 victory. So during that day, I thought, well, you never know, right? The game comes closer. How awesome would it be if we just get 1 point? That would be pretty cool. So I brought the kids to bed, telling them they couldn't watch the match today since it's way too late. It started at 9 p.m. for us. And it's a school day, so they couldn't stay up. And I told them, well, if we're lucky, we get a point, but this isn't the match you really want to see, anyways. And next week we play Ajax, so who knows? So both my daughters, both Feyenoord fans, wearing Feyenoord jerseys, asked me why, if the result was already clear, why would I even watch the match? That is actually a good point. So I wrapped up the food and review shorts that Wednesday evening and sat down to watch the match 2 minutes before kickoff. Meanwhile, my phone was flooded with people wishing me sarcastically good luck with some smileys you know that aren't actually smiling. You know that feeling if you are supporting a smaller club. You know when you play Weekend League and you see that Mbappe and R9 on top in your first match of the weekend? Now, you know you got a fight on your hands. And this was exactly the same feeling. So 45 minutes later, 0-2 for Feyenoord, and a weirdly undeserved disallowed goal later, I got messages from the same people. Wow, you guys are playing amazing. What happened? What did you do? And it's the fact that Benfica actually couldn't rage quit this match. But at the end, at the match, me, I also with a full stadium of Benfica fans were just numbed. What just happened? Like 1-3, but could easily be like 1-5. But these guys were so much better. How could this happen? So the morning after, or actually same day, because I didn't even sleep, both my kids were Feyenoord jerseys to school. And no, Chris knows we're actually not in Feyenoord territory here. But parents telling them they got a cool shirt. One of the teachers taking a photo with them because, well, they also secretly supported Feyenoord, and even the workers that came to work at the Food and Review studio, which is also the reason we didn't get a short yesterday, they talked about it, even though they also don't really support Feyenoord themselves. Football unites, football makes happy. And the key, the Feyenoord captain mentioned, hard work, keep training, and above all, be confident and don't compare yourself to others on paper. I thought, where did we actually hear that before? Well, after this Wednesday, I just keep telling people that in foot, sure, players do matter, but in the end, it is you in control. It is you you've got to be confident in. And honestly, you're just playing one player on the other side. No matter the shiny cards, the size of their foot club, or their puck clock, it's still 11 versus 11, and it's still one player versus another player. Don't lose confidence comparing uncomparable things. Believe in yourself and work as hard as you can. And who knows, maybe even your opponent sees that confidence and ends up saying, good game, just like the players from Benfica did to the Rotterdam boys, and just like the other parents told my kids. Football unites, but it does definitely help when you're in scorching form. Well, welcome back to that ultra long kickoff, from which, well, maybe I'm sorry if we did happen to lose a lot of listeners again. Let me know in the comments and I'll cut straight to the chase next time. We will talk about scorching hot form. Trailblazers has arrived. We will also talk about EA striking the banhammer and your thoughts on what's considered cheating in our weekend foot, which is also based around FOMO or actually lack of. Anyways, my name is John, so you know who to DM when things go south today. And I'm sorry to announce that Ingvi has fallen ill. So speedy recovery to you, my friend. But I'm not alone. I'm joined by the Joker of Edinburgh, the master of dad jokes, aka the foot in review teddy bear. It's Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hi, John. What a wonderful intro that was. You'll see that I'm wearing my white and red hat, and of you guys winning. A great result, actually. An amazing result to go there and win. What a stunning performance that was. And actually, I'm smiling as well after Rangers getting beat against the mighty Kilmarnock on Sunday. We turned over FSB or FCBSB, what they're called, Star Bucharest for us old guys, really. We won 4-0. So, yeah, on the up. This is going to be a positive show, actually. Actually enjoying my FC journey as we speak.
Yeah, because not everyone else does, and I, of course, I love football, and this was being an amazing week for like the clubs as support. But that wasn't actually the case why I wrote that intro. I think if you start with the mindset you're going to lose, if you start with the mindset you're not going to enjoy this, or you start with the mindset this weekend's going to be extra sweaty, it's probably going to be that just damn. And then you see those guys from Feyenoord, 22-year-old Timber, 19-year-old Melambo, getting the man of the match in the Champions League away duel, 3 goals out of 3 Champions League matches on your 19th birthday. And then you say, like, what's the key here? He says, I thank God, and luckily I'm confident enough in myself. Like, yeah, I think that's the point in anything you do, including FIFA this week or FC.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely, John. You have to be confident. As you say, who knows what team you're facing? It is just one man or woman against each other. They might not be such a great player. They may have been lucky and packed that Mbappe, but you have to be confident in your way and believe in the process. We always say that, don't we, at Foot Coaching? Believe in the process.
Definitely. And it's also easier when you look at the team that came out today. If you don't back any, still nothing's actually lost, eh?
No, not at all. I mean, there's some good cards in there. There is some good cards in there. I think we may have spotted a cheap beast, but we'll get the coach's opinion on that person.
We'll talk about that shortly. Again, last bit of housekeeping. I'm sorry for missing the Thursday evening food and review shorts. If you look to the video show, you see a new painted, studio floor and ceiling all repaired and stuff. We had a little bit of a leak in the office, which we tried to fix around recordings, but yesterday everything was broken up. And I could actually see the stars from here, so there wasn't an option to do much. But it's all fixed now, and we're all good to go again. Chris, I want to start like we do every week. I want to talk about this week in food.
This week in Football Ultimate Team.
Chris, what has been your highlight or your biggest disappointment from this week that you want to share?
I didn't play much over the weekend for me, so the new patch really kicked in for me on Monday, and I'm actually enjoying the game. I'm enjoying Rivals. It seems to be not as stuffy as it has been. Maybe it's because I'm still stuck in Division 5.
Sorry. You said you say that once more?
What's that? Which one is it you want
You
to say?
enjoyed the game?
Yes, I enjoyed the game. I know we're going to lose some listeners now because I am the person who's always on your side. We will not give up the fight for Weekend League, guys. No, we won't. Weekend League qualifying is the scourge of this game. It is the worst part of this game. But actually, the gameplay itself is fairly decent. We won't go for hours and talk about Weekend League, but in a few weeks' time, I think we'll need to revisit that because I think that is a problem in terms of longevity. But at the moment, enjoying the game. I just wish EA could fix Rush because it's a great mode. It's great fun. They've done everything right. They've put assists in there. They've put goals in there. But when the people just disappear and the players on the sidelines and it's 3 against 4, it spoils the game for everybody. And I have to say, we're going to talk about cheaters later on. But you guys who go in, you pick the right player, you get the boost, and you don't even bother playing. You are the absolute scourge of this game. I nearly swore there. I'm glad I didn't.
No, there were a lot of comments this week also on socials. Why do people actually quit on the start of matches? There was a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm just going to do my homework. I'm just going to start a game, continue my homework, and I'll see when it ends, and then pick up the points and we go again." And after I'm done with my homework, I'll probably have the points for that week. Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, it sucks. You ruin everything else for the other players." But it is hyper efficient if we talk about grinding out a game, right?
It is, but EA have to. I know it's difficult. Dan talks about it. Code built on code, built on code, built on code. But EA have to do something. If there's a continual repeat of an input for over 10 seconds, that person needs kicked from the game. That's what they need to implement because it just spoils the game. You play 4v3. Yeah, you win. You score a lot of goals back to you when you get a good game 4 versus 4. It's a really fun mode. I understand that people go in there and sometimes they just are so greedy, or some people just are not good at the game. That's just the luck of the job. At least they're trying. But those guys who you can see their player moonwalking on the sidelines, it really annoys me that.
Yeah. So here's my weekend food, Chris. We had an office that needed to be repaired. We had final Champions League match in between. And to be fair, it is quite hefty making daily content. So I didn't have much time, and I knew that in advance this week is just going to be swamped. So it was Tuesday night. 0 rival matches played, mate. And I had two options: grind all night and Wednesday a little bit. I'm in Div 2 now. Yeah, Div 2. And I know it's not 15 games, 15 wins, right? There's a lot of draws, unfortunately. So do I go for 45? Go for 15? And I decided, you know what? Rewards have been awful so far. I got much more good picks from SBCs, honestly. And I said, I'm not going to stress out over this. And I decided not to focus on the results, not to just build a formation. I started a 4-2-3-1. I finished a 3-5-2 this week. Like, let's do a 4-2-3-1. Let's just start playing that, and we'll see how far we get. I put my schedule. I put in 2 hours. Let's go on a Wednesday evening. In the end, I got, I think, 7 wins out of 8 matches. And then I was like, hey, if I want, I could now push and go for it. And I was like, no. Actually, I got a pretty good feeling with what I've done. I was on the cusp of going to Div 1, which was like, you know what? maybe not tonight. Get in there, go to bed stressed. Maybe if I don't make it, it's fine. I still have 15, which was, well, more than I initially thought. And I just let it be. Did you know what I got in my rewards, though, on Thursday?
No, John, I haven't.
Still absolutely nothing. So it doesn't matter. No, that's serious. I also, I think we always say, don't let the FOMO get to you. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. I do think if you need to force those wins for yourself to feel that you have to get them to be able to catch up, for example, I think you put so much extra pressure on yourself that it's going to be even harder. And I played without pressure and actually went pretty decent. So was my highlight actually. I played some good football. It sort of clicked. The one thing I would say is that Petit is absolutely amazing. If I do a player in review, which I could, by the way, well, we're now at it, Chris, before we jump into content. And Chris or Daniel said it's a bit weird hearing my own voice, but luckily I don't have the problem.
Player in review.
So I want to talk about Laurent Blanc for just a sec. He can play left back and center defensive midfielder, I think. I don't even have him in front of me. But what a card, Chris. What a card. Can't get him off the ball. He takes every player from the ball. French, of course, perfect links as well. I'm so lucky I got him for my pack, right? Or my icon pack. One a week or 2 weeks ago, I think. But what an amazing player. Totally worth the value as well. If you have an option, if you want to look for CDM, he's so good. And also in CDM with that kind of passing, he can actually pass. Truly amazing.
Right.
So I just wanted to put it. And of course, it's a 500k card or something. I don't even know how much he worth now, but the best 500k card I've used this year. Let's see. He's even, he actually went up a lot. He's 830 now.
Wow.
After I packed it 2 weeks ago. So, but it's a like amazing card, honestly. He can also play center midfielder, so he's good. And he has holding plus on the CDM. He's got wing back plus on the left back, and he's got box to box on the CM. So pretty versatile as well.
But no, that sounds really good. I must admit, John, I'm not trying to spoil your story, but I did pack a tradable Wesley Sneijder in a preview pack.
So, in a preview pack?
In a preview pack.
Oh.
So that's maybe why I'm enjoying the game, because I managed to sell him and make some decent coins. And I bought Kai Havertz, who I'm testing at the moment, the Champions League one. Arsenal in absolutely stunning form. And maybe next Friday I can tell you a little bit more about him. I keep being tempted to sell him, but he seems to be a good player. I like that big, tall, skinny player. That makes, I think, it's a big difference in this game.
That's probably why you like me as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the first word sort of made sense in that sentence. Chris, I said 2 weeks ago when we had the Rush promo, this is basically Trailblazers. Well, it wasn't, because we got Trailblazers today.
Exactly.
And Trailblazers shows the players that stand out so far in the season, and they adjusted the player rules. And if I'm not mistaken, they also adjusted play styles to how they performed or how they played.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds interesting enough, but is it any interest? Take us away.
I think there's some really nice cards here, John. I mean, we have a Bellingham card for free before MD gets excited. It's his brother. No, it's not Jude. It's Joe Bellingham, who plays for the mighty Black Cats, Sunderland. And it's a great card again, John. I don't know if you can bring it up. I mean, it's an objective card. I think it's fairly easy to do. You can easily do it in squad battles. The thing I like about him the most, like his brother, he is 6'3", tall and lean. So again, like the Kai Havertz card, like the Patrick Vieira card, like the Socrates card, these guys seem to fit the game pretty well. He's box to box. His stats are
Box to box plus even, eh?
Exactly. We need to find a word for plus, double plus maybe. The stats look fairly decent, I'll be honest with you. There's nothing really too bad. He's passing, maybe his crossing's a little bit down. Shooting's decent. Shot power at 76, John. You might look to boost that. Good acceleration, good sprint speed, good agility as well. Fairly physical, great stamina. Anything that you see in that card that you'd think, I wouldn't do it? I know you're not a great objectives man.
I'm not a great objectives man. That's definitely true. But honestly, he does look very good. It's hard to link EFLs though, so that's a bit hard, right? Before, like, also EA, the design team is again saving everything for them because what a design on these cards.
Yeah.
Love it. But yeah, no, the rules are perfect for him. I think he has Relentless as well. Yeah, Relentless plus on playstyles. If you give this guy an anchor, he sort of feels like the perfect center midfielder. Just wish we could link him with someone, but the rest of it looks.
There may be special chemistry if you link him with his brother. Two Bellinghams in midfield would be really interesting.
Like everyone has that card.
Well, I have the card, to be honest with you. He's actually
of course cheap. You have.
He's quite cheap at the moment. He's come down. It's cost me a few coins. It's a really good card to use. Just to talk about the tasks you need to do: assist 5 goals with through balls in squad battles, which is fairly easy to do. Score 10 goals from a player from the EFL Championship. Play 10 matches with 4 players from the EFL Championships. These can be done in squad battles, semi-pro. And last but not least, win 6 matches with having 4 players from the EFL. So if you do it in squad battles,
then squad battles are done.
Exactly, it's done. You can tie them in with a lot of the other cards that are out at the moment. So if you can tie them in with somebody else, it's worth doing. I think it's difficult to hit elite these days. I don't know if EA has fixed that.
They've not.
So I wouldn't worry about getting any rewards in squad battles for that one. This card here, though, I think at this stage of the game is pretty decent.
No, I think it's actually a great card. But then again, I might be repeating myself here, but it's like the 12th or 13th great midfielder we got for almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like from Garcia day 1 until Bellingham now, 5 weeks in or 6 weeks in now, we keep getting really cheap or even free center midfielders every single week, either from objectives or good SBCs. We had 2 rounds. I can name a few, but it's going to be hard to decide. Well, like even Garcia, I don't even use. Of course, I packed Petit. That's the reason why I don't use him. But there's so many center midfielders, and also there's so many non-informer cards that are actually getting very cheap, like Kevin De Bruyne or Fernandes. Now you said Bellingham. I still saw he's 150,000 currently. So there's not a lot of. There's not too little. There are so many. Sorry, as my English is gone. There are so many good midfielders in this game currently obtainable for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. But I think this card well worth doing. If you're going to play the game this week, just do it. You may find that this card here also. You never know, any evolutions in the near future. They get them fixed. That card could easily be upgraded. I mean, it's only 85 rated at the moment. That card could be up there. In English, I know the Championship's a hard one to link, but actually an English card, really good to get a lot of good players there from that point of view. So, no, I think
coming from you, that's actually pretty cool.
Scotsman saying about England, yes, but I do have an English wife. I've got to say that, otherwise she will hear this podcast and give me a lot of trouble as well. So, no, I think this card, and the fact is to rock the 2 Bellinghams in your team in the midfield, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree.
But then again, John, so we've also got an SBC, Rafinha. I really would love to get your take on this. This card is coming in at 552,000 coins. There's 9 challenges to complete, but I would really like to get your opinion on it. I'm looking at it thinking this looks like it's a wonder card, but let's get the coach's opinion of that when he pulls it up.
Yes, I'm getting it on screen for if you're watching the YouTube version or, of course, the Spotify version. And I've seen some comments, by the way. People say, "Hey, you say Spotify, but Spotify is audio." Nope, Spotify is also video. If you just open the app and look at your screen, if there's a video attached to a podcast or even a clip these days, you can see it. So we also upload the video content to YouTube or to Spotify. I got it on my screen. Screen, of course. Rafael Diaz Belloli or Rafinha for friends.
Yes.
552,000. He is 4-star, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
He's got inside forward plus, and well, some other cool things. But he, at least for his left midfielder, left winger, right winger, and right midfielder options. He's got the tiki-taka playstyles, which you don't see very often on a O winger or an outside player. He's got trickster. I'm a little bit let down by the fact he doesn't have technical on this card, but having a tiki-taka is pretty cool. But Chris, although everything in this card looks good, I would never recommend doing an SBC for 500,000 for a winger that has tiki-taka and not something special on shooting. It's my quick first thoughts on it. It's a lot of money, yeah.
So you don't think his crossing been fairly strong and
84.
You know, the sprint speed at this stage of the game.
Yeah, sure. I mean, but then again, he's not 5-star either, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a bad card? No. You know, but it reminds me very much of the Adama card.
Okay.
Fast, but this one actually has a little bit more better passing, I think. But fast, but 82 finishing, 83 composure, 82 balance. I am a little bit like, is he good? Sure, I guess so. Is he outstanding for me? With a tiki-taka on a right mid, I don't necessarily feel like it's worth the money. Or am I being too critical here?
I just wanted to get your opinion, John.
Just wanted to show you that if I look at the foot pin, pluses and minuses, right?
Mm-hmm.
1682 thumbs up. 1682. 1614 thumbs down.
But the fact he's got the wide playmaker plus, so he's got a double star there.
He's got the inside forward plus.
Inside forward plus. So the inside forward. So you think his shooting stops him being a great inside forward then?
No, so he has great inside forward that can't shoot that well.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Is that the problem? I think from your point of view. So if the wide playmaker was plus, would you be more interested? I know you're not a great crosser, John. We've talked about that. You're not a person that likes to get down, and whip the ball over. I just, looking at that card, all the face stats there, it looks pretty decent.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a bad card, Chris. Mm-hmm. But if I have to be critical, it's a lot of money for a card. You say you want to cross with, but an inside forward you don't really cross with. Mm-hmm. He comes in and takes a shot. He can't come in and takes a shot with 82 finishing and 83 composure. He's very fast, and I get you want to go to the outside and maybe cross, but then that tiki-taka, what do you use it for? Right? He's not being pressured on those wings.
Yes.
And then you see I have the long pass 78, short pass 82. I'm not that, like, even if you look at the play styles he's got on his, it's not that he's got the whip pass or something like that either. So maybe I'm completely wrong here, but I think he's not worth that amount of.
If you put a marksman on him, John, what do you think if you put a marksman on for the inside forward then? Because that will boost his shooting considerably. If you're running a Liga team as well.
Yes, but still won't, like, his composure still will be fairly weak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But okay, so we got an 85 rated center midfielder, Bellingham, that is pretty all round and free.
Yeah.
Or you spend 500 and something coin in a time where it's hard to get good fodder on a card that doesn't exactly look amazing. If he would be, for example, if it would be 5-star, 5-star, if he would get the whip cross and the white playmaker plus plus, for example, or if he would get higher shooting, or he's got a finesse shot, but give him a power shot plus plus, for example, then you have something that fits the role. He feels like could have been nice to have. Of course, he's fast. Don't get me wrong, but he's also not 5-star weak foot or 5-star skill moves either. So no, I'd say for me, I wouldn't be. I'm not too excited, but
Okay. That's a wee bit
it's 9
disappointing.
SBCs, mate. It's a lot.
It is a lot. That's why I wanted to just get the price. I thought, 500,000 coins. And the thing is, the reason I'm asking this, John, is I think a lot of us are starting to find our SBC storage starting to get filled up as well. And we're looking for something to sink our...
Me too, but there's only 83 rated cards so down. It's for me.
I have a few in there that's thing in there. So what we'll do then, John, we'll move swiftly on to the main team. So there is quite a decent team that's come out. Top of the shop is Mr. Haaland. I don't know if people saw his amazing goal through the week there. He seems to make a habit of just scoring these wonderful goals. But when you look at it, 3 million coins he is at the moment. Info, when I look at the info though, again, 3-star weak foot. That just seems, for an ace goal scorer, seems a bit stingy from EA.
I think it's what he does, right? He has only 1 foot, basically, most of the time. It's not unfair, I think, to give him that. I use his non-inform, which I just put on screen as well. He's in my main team.
Yes.
But I only shoot with his left foot, because it is definitely something you need to take into consideration. But the biggest difference between all these two cards is the non-inform has a acrobatic plus on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the new one, I think, has a rapid plus on it.
Yes.
Yes. Might fit him a little bit better, but 3 million is a lot of money difference. It's literally 3 million difference.
Mm-hmm.
I would mind backing him, because I do like the 91 rated. But I can almost say I would never pay 3 million for a 3-star striker, which I might actually like the acrobatic more on, if I'm honest.
Okay. So the other big.
We need to find a player I like, mate. Because
I'm doing my best here. There is another big beast, is Bon Mati, of course, a favourite for everybody. Barcelona female player.
Yes.
She's actually more expensive, 3.4 million. She has a plus as a playmaker. She can also play box-to-box, playmaker as a cam, and a shadow striker as well. She has 5-star weak foot, which is important for a person like me, 4-star skills, and her playstyle plus is finesse shot plus. Is that still a powerful weapon, John?
Yes. It still is. No, I think finesse shots, Trivelas were mostly hit last week. Still very good, though, especially when you're green time and half time. I don't think it's gonna that much worse, honestly. Bomati, though, Chris, I think she is worth the coins.
What, 3 million?
Yes.
3.4 million, actually, I think it is at the moment.
Yeah. I think there are much better midfielders than her, period, in this game.
So, as we always say about the female players, she's 5'4". She is small for a female player to start with. And if you look at her strength as well, John.
But agree. 100% agree, right?
Yeah, I was going to just ask though, is from as a coach point of view and a coach tip, would you play her as a shadow striker or as a cam? Box to box, I think she may struggle.
Yeah, so on a cam position, she's playmaker and shadow striker, right? I think you can honestly play both, but not as a center. You can't really defend with her. So you literally use her as a box to box, or as a playmaker. Give her the ball, let's dribble around. Honestly, right? 92 ball control, 93 dribbling, 94 agility, 87 balance, 92 reaction. It's insane stats. Speed isn't there, so she won't make those runs and get away with it. But she still has 90 long shots, Chris, with the finesse plus, like you said, and 92 finishing without any boost, which will make her lethal as a shadow striker. But I think this card works the best as a center midfielder because of the fact you don't really want any physical contact. You don't want players to have the space to move into her. That makes sense?
Yes.
You want her to come from midfield, get the ball laid back, and then take a shot, for example, and distribute those passes with these amazing passing stats with 92 short passes, 91 finishing vision, and 91 long pass. That's pretty nuts. So you want her to get the ball, walk around, pass the ball around, and then once you're in a goal or it's just blocked, you want to trigger a run from her, get her in towards the box and take a finish shot. And I think, yeah, a brilliant. Absolutely love it.
Good. We've found one now. I'm going to find another one. This is a cheap beast, this one, John. This is a cheap beast. It's Barbara Bandish. There she is on your screen next to Erling Haaland. She is, at the moment, 57,500 or 54 on your screen. Looking at those stats, she looks something special, if you ask me.
False 9 plus plus. Don't see that too often. And here comes my exact problem, which I do have often with using Haaland. You call Haaland towards you. You give him the ball, he can't do anything, right? He's a poacher by default. You want him to go for a run and finish a ball. That's Haaland. Even with his big body, you can't give him the ball and shield anyone or hold the ball for a sec. Banda could do that role for you. You can with a false 9 plus plus and with 90 strength, Chris.
Yes.
90 strength. You can give her the ball, hold the play up for a second, and then continue from there. With 93 acceleration, 96 sprint speed, she is pretty amazing. This isn't the card you want to finish with. This is the card you feed your second striker with. Or you could hold up your build-up play. You use her as a false 9. And I think this is where people sort of, this is very generalizing, didn't mean it that way, but sort of get these rules a little bit wrong. She's a false 9 plus plus. If you play a 4-4-2, for example, she's coming back to get the ball in. Lay the ball either back or turn around and go for a pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her passing isn't like terrific, but she can hold up play for everyone else overlapping. If you have a attacking wing backs, she's your girl. But she's not finishing with 82 composure. She's not finishing those one-on-one chances. She's not taking any crosses. She is to hold up play, get the players around you to move up. And if you use her in that role, I think she'd be amazing. But it's also the reason why she's very cheap currently. And I think she drops even more over the next week or so. Because people see a striker, want to use her as a striker. She is not a striker that finishes chances. Maybe a niche role. What a very fun niche role, I think.
I mean, I know she's not, I wouldn't say a strong league. That's a wee bit unfair, but she is the female USA league. But I'm just thinking if people have done Morgan, that's quite a decent card to do. The Morgan card, the end of the era card. So you have those two together, quite a potent partnership that would be, and not overly expensive either. So it's a card I think people will kind of miss out on, and the fact that she's very pacey as well. She looks like she could do a lot of damage.
Yeah. And then lay the ball off and maybe not take a shot herself. But still, like finishing 88 isn't bad, right? Just putting it out there. I just think 82 composure, you start to notice that a little bit. But
yeah. So I'll let you choose the final player we'll look at, John, and we'll move the show on. You either can choose Llorente or Stanway. What one would you like to talk about?
Well, first, of course, shout out to Pulisic getting that card in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a cool card. Also, we got a lot of USA listeners, so just go USA, go Pulisic. Stanway or Llorente, right? I think I want to focus on Stanway, but just about Llorente, he's always good. His 83 rated card, still a very good, very underrated card, I think, in the current game. He's right back, right center midfielder, right midfielder, right wing. You can play him basically anywhere. Yeah, I love that card. I think as a center midfielder, Gullit can easily, right? So definitely worth it. But I want to focus on Stanway because I think that's, again, this is a second special card, I think. She got an inform a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
157,000 as we are recording this. Center defensive midfielder with some interesting rules, namely the deep lying playmaker plus plus. So we get in the States, Chris, I think, where we see different plus plus rules and we look at niche cards, if that makes sense. Most CDMs are used holding. So they would say, hey, holding plus plus, that's amazing. Deep lying playmaker is actually a pretty cool card if you look at how strong she is. She's not that CDM that holds the ball or the fence. She is the CDM that can intercept the ball, but basically it's a CDM that comes, pick up the ball, turn around, and starts building a play. And if you then look at, okay, she's got 93 short passing, still a 4-star weak foot as a center defensive midfielder, with 87 long passing, 87 vision, 88 reaction, 89 ball control, 91 dribbling, and 87 agility. Ooh, very tempting for me, Chris. Gather the ball. That one player that picks up the ball between the lines when people start pressing, she just comes in. You give her the ball. They turn around. You skip the line. Yeah, I think she. Well, I wouldn't mind using her in my team, except I don't. I currently use a setup where in the 4-3-1 that requires two holding CDMs, but I think in a 4-1-2-1, like a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Oh, what a card!
I mean, if you put a powerhouse on her, John, the stats go through the roof for the defending, to be fair, and also the passing maxes out. And she's got ping pass plus as well.
Yeah. So maximum passing, and I don't necessarily think she needs much more defensive options because she's not that strong that can like properly hold off big players that come running through. She needs to intercept the ball, but her interceptions are so good. That's fine, right? If I would boost anything, like you said, I would maybe look at dribbling and passing. So I would go maybe for an artist even. But like artist gives her 99 agility, 92 reactions, 99 dribbling with 95 vision and 99 long passing.
I mean, is it fair to say that she is Kante gang then, if she gets that? Because she's got that special, Kante originally in the game always had that ability to pick the ball up and he had that agility. He wasn't the best football player in the world, but speed across the ground was amazing. And you look at her agility, would that then make her feel almost Kante-like?
I don't necessarily think so because
Right.
I always feel that Kante is indeed some sort of shorter player, but a very strong player with really capable of defensive actions. This is more play. You give the ball, she comes pick up the ball, she turns around, and she maybe goes looking for a false nine to play the ball towards. Really build up for. You see those plays these days where center defenders send the back forwards, and one center defense midfielder or one midfielder comes running back to collect, turn around, and then build up. That's her, I think, more. So, and again, I think those players are more viable this year, but we've not seen them use so much.
Yeah,
still.
Could she be then this middle centre back and a 5 at the back? That one that steps out.
Yeah, but except you can't play her there, of course, with the rules. So I wouldn't do that necessarily. But if you play a 3-5-2, for example, you can use her as one CDM that sort of builds up the role, and you put just into defensive midfield or center back as step up. That could definitely work. Like a stopper player, for example. Yeah, interesting card though. A little bit too expensive for me currently to just try her, but maybe she halves in price, and I would probably use her. But yeah, definitely got. I like these niche players, Chris.
No, there's some interesting cards there. Definitely, 100%.
Definitely. Enough about those cards, though, Chris. Did we get an SBC, other SBCs or objectives you want to mention, or did we get everything?
I think we've pretty much got everything. There is those standard ones at the moment. There doesn't seem to be much challenges out at the moment as well. I'm having a quick look on the app to see if there's anything that I have missed.
Evos are still broken, so I'm not.
Unfortunately, Evos are still broken. Rush is good fun. I mean, I think they've been pretty fair with Rush. Rush has been pretty good fun. There's no new objectives there at the moment. There's a lot of objectives for people who are looking to boost their season points. So if you're
Yes.
pushing to get that Adama, I was miles away last week, hardly played last weekend, and I'm actually now only 700 points away from getting Adama, and that looks a real good fun card as well. So, have a wee look, guys. There's the bi-weekly objective. There's weekly objectives. There's loads of stuff out there. So if you feel like you're miles away, just have a quick look and try and do it as quick as possible.
Talking about doing things as quick as possible, Chris, have you ever used an add-on that helps you build SBCs or anything like that?
John, you know how hard it is for me to actually log on to the studio. So it's impossible for me to do anything like that.
I'm making a bridge here to one of the topics. So this week I wanted to make a special show, which we still will do shortly. But I wanted to do a special show about cheating in FC25. That is, of course, also will be a very different show than this one. Because if you said it already, if you look at the leaderboards currently for squad battles, those are filled with players that have absurd numbers, and these are all cheaters. Just going to mention it. There's no way you can get 3,000 something points a match every single time. Then you look at the pro clubs, like these, they call it clubs these days, of course. The club's best players or high performing players. You got players that haven't played a match and scored 400 goals. That's interesting, right? So, again, cheating. I've said it before. We got sniping bots, of course. It's always been an issue. But there are also applications, add-ons that make the game more enjoyable. And I won't mention it because I don't want I don't want anyone to get in trouble after the show. So, but there's plenty of tools that say, you know what, we're going to help you get your club. I mean, sometimes even EA's companion app doesn't show all the players, but we have an app or we have an add-on to your browser that helps select players for certain SBCs, make it the cheapest from your club available. So they don't necessarily do something bad. They help the player. Or you see the price from players currently once you hover over a card, where normally you have to put up an app or a website and check it out yourself and take a gamble there, right? Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So not all add-ons are made for cheating. Just put it out there, but it is definitely against team of service, which we all accept once we don't start the game. But we all accept that we don't use any of them. Right?
100%.
This morning, woke up, flooded mailbox, flooded DMs, people getting banned. Chris, they got banned because of using a third-party app in, or like a third-party site logging in. When I say banned, I have to rephrase that a little bit because I've been asking, let me see what happened. What did you get? How does it look? What did the message say you got? They aren't banned. They are currently not allowed to use the companion app for a certain amount of time. It doesn't say how long, but it only concerns the companion app. And I think also the web app, but it says companion app on most of these messages I've got sent. Basically meaning you've used an app to do something in the game, and therefore you can't use our app currently anymore. Which, if you ask me personally, I think, well, we knew that was a risk. Right? It should say, by the way, when you download these things that it's against service, but I checked some of the websites. It actually says that EA does not approve it. So on most sites as well. So we know where you're getting into. You don't get banned from the game. You get banned from not using the app. I think it's pretty fair. And I've been asking around why EA suddenly is going at that. And that is to start stopping the cheaters. That's the intention, at least. Because if you stop allowing apps or add-ons, you make it easier you make it easier not even to be able to cheat at all. Like the whole PC problem is a separate problem, which we'll do the show about, I think. But Chris, do you consider using a third-party app for your own convenience, not for selling or sniping or hacking, whatever, but for your own convenience? If you would have an app that says, okay, this is the price on the player, or they make my easy solutions, do you consider that a bad thing?
No, I don't, John. No. I don't. I think it's unfair. I think the amount of cheating that's going on elsewhere in the game, you have to look at Twitter to see the actual pros, or not. I'll refrain from that. I won't say pros. You actually see on X, as it's called now, people selling their service for weekend league performances. For me, that's bigger cheating. And that's an easy one to catch, because if someone like myself, who used to be a 9 or 11 win, suddenly went 20-0 one weekend, that's easy to spot that. You just need to write a small algorithm to say, find these people and ban them. You know what I mean? That's the important thing. That's the real cheating. If you use an app to help you put some SBCs together, I don't think that's cheating whatsoever. I think it's low-hanging fruit for EA. I think they need to go after the actual proper cheats in this game.
Yeah, so I think I don't disagree with the fact that that's the bigger problem. Let's put it square there. But when you talk about rules, when you talk about setting a precedent, when you talk about following up on rules, there's no, if you have the rules properly set up, there is no gray area. If we all sign, you can't use a third party app for anything in the game, then you can't do it. It also says in the same teams of services, and I've been through them intensely today, Chris. It also says you're not allowed to share your account with someone, and someone else is not allowed to use your account to sign in and play your games.
Mm-hmm.
So that thing you said is also considered cheating, and it's also against terms of services. And I also know that there are players being banned for that, although it is a little bit harder to catch because of VPNs, etc. These days, and if you had to happen to have a good weekend, is that necessarily the worst? Like, I think it's easier to see if someone who goes 40-0 over their 11 wins last week than between 12 and 15 or 11 and 15 these days. So I think that's a little bit harder, but I do agree they got to go after them as well, because that's also not allowed.
No.
And the thing I find worse is always the coin selling. Even I think that's even a bigger thing, because those will get accounts hacked. Those will get accounts stolen from people that aren't as invested and then just fell for these traps just to sell a couple of coins, right? And what I find even harder to swallow is the PC fact that they got 20 times the opportunity to get rank 1 rewards last week in Week League, for example, because they can just go into the algorithm and change it, or they can just disconnect a player when playing you. But I think this is a first step from EA to go into. There's one thing which is really bugging me, though, Chris, and that is the fact they're not communicating it.
Mm-hmm. But
why not put out a message saying, okay, we might been a little bit lax, or maybe don't even say that. We've been noticing a lot of third-party apps connecting on our servers. We are once again saying it's against terms of service, and the players that we see doing it get a 5-day ban or whatever. And then go strike.
Mm-hmm. No,
Right, at least give player a little bit of a warning, because you can't allow something for a year, suddenly disallow it, not allow it. They didn't pay any attention to it. They ignored it. Then suddenly start soft banning. I would call it the soft banning people. I think the soft ban is a sort of, okay, you now got a warning. But I feel it's a little bit, it's not necessarily, like, I think it's a good thing. I feel for the players that sort of feel worse for using a convenient app to do things, but you can't say it's not against the rules. So
I understand that, John, but actually, if you go into Footbin and you look for an SBC solution, if you extrapolate it that way, you
still put in some effort. I mean, I can make a puzzle. I like this SBC is called a puzzle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Squad building challenge or some puzzle. These are puzzles. If I make a Sudoku, and I suck at puzzles, mate, but if I make a Sudoku and I ask you, Chris, can you take a gander and maybe tell me what this could be? And you tell it's a 7. I say, cheers, mate, thanks. That's what looking up Footbin is. If I tell you, Chris, here's my pen, you got 5 minutes, I'll go to the loo, and if you fill in my form, I'll tell everyone that I did it. It's a bit different. And I think that's what the apps do for you as well. And I get the convenience, I do, but it's not a fair playing ground against the players that don't do it. I mean, we are saying that sometimes you're like, I might be too kind. You know me, right? I'm a little bit too strict on following the rules when we play game. But I also think I run a company that helps players perform in this game, and I would never feel good about doing something that is against the rules. Meanwhile, telling everyone they can just follow the rules and get better. That sort of feels. So I've never used any. I can say that with like a straight face. I've never used any of those add-ons. But I'm not against people using them for their convenience. But I think either EA should moderate them or work together with some of these guys to make guys or girls. I don't know, guys or girls to make their app or their experiences better, which is also a route. But for now, they draw a line in the sand, and I think they should communicate about it. But I'm not too fussed about them following up on it because maybe it solves a couple of things. And we got some comments in sending in, Chris, that people say, "Well, just leave the PC players, just cut them off." But I just saw the numbers, and there's more than one. I think 600,000 players, something playing. You can't like cut off 600,000 players. I think either. I ran a poll on TikTok, on Instagram, and asking, hey, do you consider this a bad or good thing? You know what people say? It's literally 50-50. I think currently it's 48% saying it's unfair. I think both sides stand for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if EA now communicates it, they draw a line in a sense and then start following up, I think it's going to be a better experience for everyone in long term.
No, John, as long as it doesn't just stop with these guys. That's all I'd say to you in that one is. If EA are going to go for people who cheat, then don't go for the low-hanging fruit. For the guys who are just, a bit of convenience on an SBC, go after the cheaters. Let's say, right, we're starting here. This is an easy one. You're banned for 5 days, 2 weeks over on the app. That's fine. Okay, no problem.
But that's on the app. But if you do it if you get caught for coin selling, for example, or coin... that's like a hard ban. And if you get caught, I know players, I know teams, I actually know teams, I won't mention them on air, of course, but I know teams that have one paid account where they put all the FIFA points in.
Yeah.
So they pay for it, but they split that account for tournaments and performances just because they don't want to spend 5 times, for example, for the team. I know teams and players like that also got banned because they used each other account. And that's not a 5-day companion app ban. That's like a proper your account suspended ban. So I know those situations as well. But I think, honestly, if you're not performing well or not playing on it, if you look at the pro scene, Chris, there's always at the end of the year like a big line of bans being handed out, like account suspensions, like your account's done, right? You can't. That's always around the time where people qualified, because then they start checking those accounts and they're like, yeah, this feels a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see a couple of bans coming up. I also think that those automatic AI or the way they could check some of these things aren't that easy. But if they look into one player and look at their transactions or their coin balance, then you can very easily see. The problem is we got millions and millions of players, so it's a little bit harder to see. I'm not against it, but I do think communicate it and go against everyone. And I also think a little bit nuanced. I've not seen anyone being properly banned for this. I see people getting limited companion app access for a short period. And I think it wouldn't surprise me that's just a weekend, if I'm honest, just to give them a warning.
Yeah. No, fair enough, John. But as I say, let's hope it doesn't end there, because the guys who are selling their services, the guys who are buying coins, they are the real cheaters in this game. And the people who use those add-ons that improve their performance, I think it's particularly PC players, they're the real cheaters as well.
100%. And the guys using the apps for their SBC convenience or the transfer value on players, get me wrong, I don't consider you cheaters. I don't consider you bad people because you use it. It's for convenience reasons. And I almost wish I could do it myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it is a black and white rule that it is against the services. So it's not like you're losing your account either currently, right? So, enough on that. We'll do the full show on what's possible on PC soon, though, because we've been gathering evidence, to say the least, Chris. And you don't want to know what all came out of that.
Okay. Well, stay tuned for that one.
Chris, we normally end this week on you haven't Jota a clue.
Mm-hmm.
But Invie's sick. So we got 2 people and the player. So that's a bit weird.
Yes, we'll wait till next week.
You've thought about something else. And with that something else comes, if you get the answer right, and you combine that with a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify, you put in, give us a 5-star review, you put in the answer of the what you're about to ask, you can win. You want to mention it to the people?
An amazing, and I mean amazing looking cap. John, pull it up on the screen. Let's see it. It looks amazing. I've said that numerous times now.
You did. But yeah, it's our new food and review cap. Of course, it's available on the website, but we're giving one away to someone giving the right answer on the next questions.
Yes.
If you put it on the Spotify, because we always ask for give us a 5-star review and stuff. And you guys you've been amazing lately in doing that. So what's one more review and a chance to win that? We'll mention it next Friday on the show. Who won it, Chris?
Yes.
And we'll send it to you free of shipping or worldwide. We'll make it happen. So
has to be inside the review, guys. Has to be inside the review. That's what we're saying here. So the question is, it's very simple. Which company is the world's largest tire producer? Who produces the most tires per year? Leave that company name in the review.
I almost wanted to answer it because I know it.
I know you know it.
But I won't go. Yeah,
you can't win your own cap, John. Come on, I'm sure you've got a real collection of them. But yeah, that is the question. Who is?
I will wear the cap though. We've ordered the first batch, so don't worry about it.
Definitely. So, who is the world's largest tire producer? Leave that company's name inside the review, and we will announce the winner next week. We'll do a draw.
Do we have a sponsorship with them? Hey, who knows? We might do after you guys mention it enough times in the review.
And let me say, John would be delighted. There's a clue for you.
Yes. Oh, that's a good question. I have nothing to answer, which is weird, Chris.
I know.
I always want to win with I haven't Jota Cluedo.
Yes. So as people who have been in Crete realise I am a great quiz master for those that won the rubber ducks there in May as well. So yeah, that's a great question. Then get your answers in the review, please.
Definitely. Chris, we'll be back this Monday with another food and review shorts. And if you are not a patron, you can listen to that show on Tuesday morning. Remember, we'll be back every single day, every single morning at 8 a.m. UK time, or I think it's 9 a.m. Central European time. It's from Tuesday to Saturday morning. And if you're Patreon, you get it early the moment we are done with the edit. It's all yours. And next week, it's time for another The Art of Food show, hopefully with Nathan, myself, and of course, Artyom. So if you're a Patreon, look out for that because it's another exclusive show we'll be doing. And I think next Friday is November the 1st.
Yes, it's it.
Which means we'll be drawing the first Food in Review free analysis winner as well. So if you are a Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/foodinreview. You can, of course, help us out by supporting us financially. And if you do, you not only get that free content, you're not only getting the chance to get some discounts on stuff, you're not only getting, well, what else you get? Invites to events, you get that content early, you're getting the art of food, but you're also getting this amazing chance to win a free coaching session, which we'll be doing for free at Team Food Coaching. We'll be put the full coaching session on our Patreon community so everyone can learn from that. So a chance to learn and a chance to see what has been taught to learn from yourself. Included in all subscriptions. It's just a part of what you get. Chris, I got nothing left to add except for one thing. It is time for us to drop it.
Drop it.
Interview.